Okay, these are order of operations problems. It's been a little while since we've seen this. This was a topic we struggled on a little bit on the Unit 1 test. But remember, our order of operations is parentheses, then exponents, then multiplication and division from left to right, and then addition and subtraction from left to right. Okay, so that's our order. So let's take a look. In this first problem, we have some parentheses, right? I observe the parentheses right here. So I know, ooh, I'm going to do what's in the parentheses first. And I notice, and actually inside the parentheses, there's actually two operations. There's multiplication and there's also addition. So what comes first, multiplication or addition? Oh, multiplication comes first. So I'm going to do this math. Okay, I'm going to do my 9 times 5. Now notice when I bring this 2 plus down, I have to keep it inside the parentheses. 9 times 5 is 45. Okay, now notice I'm keeping the parentheses. Why? Because there's still math to do inside the parentheses. Okay, now what I observe is that there's a minus sign and a plus sign. So I kind of know like that minus and that plus are going to happen last. So I can actually treat this, this, and this almost as 3 separate problems that I'm going to join together at the end. So I'm going to bring down this minus sign. This is 5 squared. So what's 5 squared? That means 5 times 5. It's not 5 times 2. It's not 10. But 5 times 5 is 25. So this is the other math I'm doing. And then I'm going to bring down this plus sign. And I notice in this fraction, the top of a fraction or the bottom of the fraction, it's almost like it's in parentheses. So I can actually just go ahead and do this math right here. So I'm going to do 5 plus 1, which is 6, and bring down the 3. Okay, so notice I actually did 3 calculations here. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to do 2 plus 45. That's inside the parentheses, right? So I still have parentheses. I'm going to go ahead and do that math. Here, there's nothing left to simplify here, so I'm just going to bring it down. And here, I have 6 divided by 3, which is 2. Okay, so on this step, I did 2 calculations. I did this calculation, and I did this calculation, right? Now, I have subtraction and addition left. Addition and subtraction happen left to right at the same time. So here, I end up doing the subtraction first. So 47 minus 25 is 22. I'm going to bring down the plus 2, and then do my final step. Okay, and I get 24. Okay, so notice here, we do addition, subtraction left to right, so I actually did the subtraction first, right? I did that, and then I went ahead and did this final step. Okay? Okay, in this next problem, it says evaluate 3x squared minus 4x plus 1 when x equals 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this, but instead of the x, I'm going to put parentheses. Instead of the x again, I'm going to put parentheses. Wherever I see the x, I'm putting parentheses. And what I'm going to do is inside those parentheses, right, I know that x equals 5. So I'm going to take that 5 and I'm going to put it in both places where there was originally an x. Okay, so I'm going to take my 5, put it here and here. Okay, now let's take a look here. This is a really tricky part that comes up again and again in our algebra class. See how here I have actually 2 operations. I have this multiplication, right? There's these parentheses mean multiplication, right? This is 3 times 5. And then I also have this exponent. This is 5 to the 2nd power. Well, what do I do first? Do I do exponent first or multiplication first? Oh, I do exponent first. Okay, so what I'm going to do first here is I'm not going to do this 3 times 5. Look, I'm not doing the multiplication. I'm going to bring down the 3. I'm going to leave the multiplication because I'm not doing that math yet. The math that I am doing is this 5 squared. Okay, so 5 squared is 5 times 5. That's 25. Okay, so the math that I just did was this, the exponent. Okay, now here, you can think of this 2 different ways. It doesn't really matter. You could think of this as negative 4 times 5, which is negative 20. Or you could view this as, oh, I'm going to bring down the negative, and then this is 4 times 5, which is bring down the negative 20. Same thing, right? Just kind of 2 different ways of thinking about it. And then I'm just bringing down the plus 1. So the 2 pieces of math I did here were 5 squared, and I did this 4 times 5. Okay. Now what do I have left? I have multiplication, subtraction, and addition. The multiplication for sure happens first. So let's do 3 times 25. That's if I have 3/4, I have 75 cents. I'm going to bring everything else down. And once again, if I have addition and subtraction, we just do that left to right. So I'm going to start with this subtraction right here. 75 minus 20 is 55. Bring down the plus 1. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that final step. And I get 56. Okay. So this is my last step. And I'm done.